Chanel, you there?
Hi, Joe.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So Francisco can't make it. I'm gonna be running the meeting for today.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, that's no problem. Do you know you guys are gonna go over the budget priority stuff, right?
Yeah. I know we have 5 items on the budget. And we just need to prioritize them, right? One through 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta rank them.
And we just gotta make quorum in order to vote for that.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
But if there's no quorum, you can still like discuss it, but can't vote on it.
Can't vote on it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna pull out the documents here. Okay. So correct me if I'm wrong. I have. Oh wow. Okay, so we added. So somewhere added. I just saw this. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I have marketing support for businesses, Spanish-speaking health inspectors, building a business training facility or hubs. Excuse me. Funding for business committee, virtual and physical resource guide, education campaign and potential impact, virtual organizational chart, increase funding for NYC business solution centers, and provide funding for cannabis education for small businesses. Is that all we got, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. If we don't make quorum, so how would we vote on it, or how would we prioritize it? Just because I'm relatively new when it comes to budgeting.
Yeah.
Adrian, Julmina, how are you?
Oh, I was talking and it was like on mute.
Okay.
Sorry.
No,
So if you don't meet quorum, like I believe you can like perhaps meet like a little earlier, like during the budget priorities meeting on the 18th, and like discuss it a little, like rank it, or I think you can do it through email as well. Like, talk about it on the meeting and then perhaps submit the rankings through email, like with all the committee members.
Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah.
Give everybody a few minutes. See if we can have quorum. I noticed some of these things don't have a budget code. And I imagine it's because it wasn't included last year in the budget. Is
Yeah,
that
they
right?
were new last year, so yeah.
Okay, hey Hector, how are you?
Hello, Joel. How are you?
Doing well, man. So there's three of us right now. And I believe the whole committee, with the chair and me, the assistant chair. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So correct me if I'm wrong, Shania, here. I need 4 in total, right? For quorum.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because it's half and one more.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna
Hi.
try to get at least one more. We could get quorum.
Okay.
Hey, Joelle. Sorry.
Hey, how are you, Jermina? How are you? It's okay.
I'm good. I'm good. I just got appointed to this committee.
Welcome on board. Welcome.
Excited to be a part of, business development.
Let's do it. Yes. And I see we have Mancita. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. I'm doing well.
Let me put on my camera.
Hey.
Hi.
All right. So I believe with us 4, so now we make quorum if I'm not mistaken. So- Okay, so hey guys, good evening. Thank you. I'm sorry we're starting a little late, but I wanted to make sure that we get quorum so we can vote on the budget. It's coming up. I think it's the 18th of this month. So as a committee, we need to vote and prioritize what we want on the budget. So with that being said, let me motion to adopt today's agenda. Does everybody have today's agenda?
The list of the budgets and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah. So we have that, and also today's agenda is a very short agenda. It's just the budget, old news, new business, old business, and then we can close. So motion to adopt that agenda. Does everybody have it? It's only 4 of us, so we can make this a little bit informal.
Okay.
Hey, Joel. How's it going? I'm also a new joiner. I don't think I received the agenda for today.
The agenda, I'm gonna forward that to you.
Yeah, thank you, Joel. Yeah, I was appointed with the last class to the
All
business
right.
development group.
Oh, you're good. You're good. And let me get that to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joel. Also, Joel,
Yeah,
pardon
what's
my
up?
ignorance, but was there anything else I was supposed to do beforehand for this meeting? I briefly looked at some of the documents that was sent over by Francisco.
No, so those are the documents we're gonna be going over right now.
Okay.
Those are the, if you notice, I think there's about 7 items. We're gonna go over them. It should be relatively quick. We're gonna discuss what we want as a priority. But let me just get the agenda to you guys. Shannon, do you have that agenda on you so you can forward it to the committee? Give me 1 second.
But you want me to forward the agenda to the committee?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, so while that gets out, let's introduce ourselves since everybody is new. I'll start. So my name is Joel Abreu. I've been on the community board now for about 2 years. I am the assistant chair for the business development committee. I'm also a member of the licensing committee. I was born, bred in Washington Heights. Right now I am a financial advisor at JP Morgan, and just currently serving on this board. I'm excited just because this is, small businesses are the heart and soul of our community. All the restaurants, bars, and barbershops. That's what we serve. We're looking to revamp this committee. And yeah, so introduce yourselves. You can, Mancito, Hector, Jamina.
I can go.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Mansita Diawara. This is my first year on the community board. I'm on this committee as well as the Parks and Cultural Committee. I have lived up in Washington Heights for about 8 years now, but I'm originally from below 14th Street, and I like it up here because it's actually it's very similar to how it was downtown when I grew up, and I kind of want to keep that feeling and expand it and make it good for all of us and bring the capital in. Yeah. And I'm really excited to collaborate with you guys too.
Awesome, Mancita. Thank you for that. You can go ahead, Hector.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, hear you.
Great. How's it going, everyone? My name is Hector Bonilla. I was just assigned to this committee as well as, I believe, the licensing committee, but I have to talk to Eli about that. I'm a financial analyst at UBS Financial Services. This is my first time joining a committee. I'm very passionate about volunteering and mentoring, so I figured I'd take my talent to the community board in a neighborhood that I was born and raised in, and I spend a great deal of my time in. And yeah, I'm super excited to be a part of this committee and especially help with business development, which is one of the integral parts of our community. And I actually wrote my response to be on this committee in particular. And that's all. Thank you, Joel.
All right, awesome. Glad you're here. Jamina.
Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. My name is Jumirna Alcober. I am a lifelong Washington Heights resident, always and forever. And I've recently just been appointed to this board. Previously, I was in Parks and Cultural Affairs. And I'm also a part of public safety. I'm a part of the College of Mount St. Vincent, so I'm higher education professional. And aside from that, yeah, I'm very happy to be here. And I do have some questions, so I guess I'll wait for a little later to ask them.
Yeah, we'll discuss some things in new business and old business, just apart from the budget, because the budget is our priority right now, and we'll I definitely have some things also that I want to say in new business. So we can get that going. Excuse the sirens, Washington Heights. So were you guys able to get that agenda there? It was sent, so we can adopt that agenda. It's small. Were you able to get that? Yes. No.
I haven't got the agenda. The only thing I got was the
Let me put this.
priorities.
Okay. So
Joel, I got the agenda.
got it. Cool. So give me 1 second. All right. Jamina. Mancita, I just sent it to you guys directly, so you guys should get it. Right. Awesome. Jamina.
Yes, I received them.
All right, great. So let me get a motion to adopt today's agenda, please. Anybody? All right.
Oh, I second it.
All right, great, cool. All right, awesome. So let's take a look at the first thing on our agenda. So basically, every year around this time, we need to basically make recommendations to the general board about the priority of what we want as a committee to be represented on our budget. So it's our budget requests. So let's take a look at some of. I think we have. Let me count them. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Read them out loud. I don't know. I think you guys should get it. Should have it. So we have marketing support for our businesses, which, if you notice, there is a code on it, which means that it was represented in our last year's budget. That code that you see there, it's 312. That means that it was represented on our previous budget. So we have that. We have Spanish-speaking health inspectors. Building. The third one is building a business training capacity hub, up to and including. It's basically it's a hub for businesses here in Washington Heights. So number 4 is funding for businesses committee, virtual and physical resource guide. We spoke a lot about this last year in this committee, and we'll get to it later on. Next, also represented in our last year's budget, was educational campaign on potential impact of inward rezoning on businesses. Virtual organizational chart of role and responsibility for city agencies. And the new ones that we have this year are increased funding for NYC's business solution centers and provide funding for cannabis education for small businesses. Okay, so I'm gonna open it up for discussion. So what do you guys think in terms of allocating some resources to these 7 categories? And I see that we have Carl. Hi, Carl. All right. So
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well, Carl. How's
Okay,
everything?
good.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right, quickly, just to recap, right now we're discussing today's agenda. And the first thing on our agenda is to discuss the order of what the budget we want. So we have a request that we forwarded to the general board on what we want to be represented as a committee on the budget. So If you don't have those documents, let me know. I will forward them to you. So let's hear it. So what do you guys think? Let's start right at the top, Jermina.
I have a quick question. What does
Mhm.
CMTE mean?
CMT, where do you see that?
Like at the number at the end, because we have board and then we got CMTE.
Committee.
That means committee?
Yeah, that's committee.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, that's committee. That's what our rankings is gonna be. This is obviously what was represented last year. So you can see that what we did last year. We're gonna do different ones this year, or we can keep the same ones and then forward that. But it's totally up to you. Again, these are requests. So the board, we're gonna recommend them, and then the board ultimately decides on what we want. But yeah, so as you can see, last year, marketing support for businesses was our our go-to. This is what our initiative was. Businesses needed support on just getting their names out. And through what means exactly, it's hard to tell. But that was our initial number one. What do you guys think about that? And you guys think it should still be that? What do you guys think about marketing? Is marketing good? You're cutting off a little bit, Hector, there. I think we might have lost Hector there. Hector? Okay. So yeah, marketing is great. One of the things that we really wanted was that. We also, if we look at our number two, so these committee, this committee is not actually, because I'm looking at the last year's, is not how we voted last year. It's just a list. 1, 2, 3. It's not the way that we voted last year. I was just taking a look at that. But we're gonna make a new priority list. And over here on the board, that is actually what the board was. They ranked our budget items throughout the whole list last year. So, but yeah, what do you guys think about Spanish-speaking health inspectors? You guys have any say on that particularly? That's something that was thought of last year.
I think that's a good thing to consider because many of our small businesses in the neighborhood are ran by Spanish speaking individuals who only speak Spanish, and usually they have to have someone represent them for many things. And I feel that also when we consider things for Spanish speaking health inspectors, I would also suggest that the documents that the Spanish speaking health inspectors also are in multiple languages for community business owners.
Okay.
Aside from that, a lot of the times business owners may try to keep that information private, what health inspectors may share, when everyone who's a part of that business, like specific stakeholders, should know what health inspectors share so that everyone could contribute to the wellness of that business. So that's the only thing I would recommend for Spanish speaking health inspectors. I think is a good idea, but I actually think that building a business training the business hubs, I think that could be aligned with the Spanish speaking health inspectors to see if those hubs could be sort of working together with the language access, I'll say.
You know what? I agree with you there, Jamina. You know what we're gonna do? Let's take 30 seconds. Look over these 7 items, and let's choose a number one. And I want what each person thinks number one should be.
Joel, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I have just 2 quick
Yeah,
questions.
sure thing.
Um, regarding the current list, is there any way to see what was approved last year so we could kind of gauge what would be ideal for us to get passed,
So
so
you,
that way we'll have like a high success rate? And then
yeah,
secondly, how many do they typically approve? Is it based on like size or number and stuff like that? And I'm sorry if I'm like asking these like very like super detailed questions.
no,
on the
no,
spot.
that's good. Those are good things. The way they do it, and you can see it. Those 2 items that have, I forgot the name of the code. They have a code there, and that's one of
Right.
like a budget code. That means that
Yeah.
that was included in last year's budget. So the marketing
Okay.
and the educational campaign, potential impact of Inwood rezoning,
Yeah.
those 2 things were included on last year's budget because
Right.
they have that code. Now, what we could do is, we can include. So how it goes is once we make these requests, they choose it on they make a list and they prioritize it themselves. Well, the committee does, and then it goes to the executive board. As to how much items of ours, it could be as little as nothing to 1 or 2, or 3.
Right.
Different. Yeah, it just depends on the priority of the general board.
Okay.
Right.
And I guess an immediate follow-up question to that would be, the priority of the community board, is that based on like the people who are actually going to these, I guess, meetings and like voicing their concerns, or is it like an online?
There
like,
is a public. So
source?
there is a public session.
Okay. And
Sorry
with
about
that like input they use to determine like what's most important for like our committee to achieve within like this year, correct?
Correct. So it's going to be so the people who actually choose are the board members, but before they prioritize it, they have a public session on
Okay.
what, and I'll get those details to you guys.
Okay.
When is the public session and things like that. But basically what we choose here is forwarded then to the committee, and then it's prioritized through there. And we're also part of the board. So obviously when you vote, you can include these things in the priority.
Okay. And in terms, I'm sorry if I'm like bombarding you
No,
with
no,
questions.
you're
I just
good.
wanna,
You're good. Ask away.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to be well informed before I start speaking. But in terms of this list, will it be only us 4 in this call right now that determine the order of, let's say, these 7 items or 8 items? Yeah.
Yeah. So those 7 items are what we're determining right now.
Okay. So we don't need the input from the rest of
No.
the committee, correct?
So like
Okay.
I said, so this is a request, right? Once we request it over there, they could not give us any priority, right? And then they could,
Right.
because ours is going to be included with all the committees'
Right.
item listings. So yeah, that's how it's going to be. So we're going to forward it to them, and then in the general board meeting, our budget meeting, then they're going to prioritize it the way the board sees fit. So.
Okay. And is there any particular reason why we're at the bottom of the item number?
I don't know. I don't. I don't
Okay.
think they that has to do with anything in particular, but just the way they list it. So
Okay.
no hard
And
feelings.
also, final question before you I pass the mic back over to you. Is there any particular committee that the general community board has a particular focus on, or like is a major initiative for like this year, or is just all like each individual board has like their own individual I guess action item that they really want to achieve?
I know last year a lot of it was land use and parks and cultural affairs.
Right.
So I think they had a focus last year. We never know what the focus is this year. So
Okay.
we'll see when the budget comes. But yeah, each year is different or the same. But yeah.
Got it. All right.
Cool.
Thank you, Joel. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. Hector, you're good. You're all good. All good. All right. So let's choose number one. I just so we can get like everybody's opinion on it, right? And we can make a decision. So let's do number ones. In fact, what we can do number ones and twos, and then we'll go down the list from there. Okay. I'll give you guys 40 seconds.
Joel, is there a definition or like a description for each of these somewhere?
No, not necessarily. The only thing that I see that needs a bit of an expanded definition would be a resource guide. The resource guide is basically like a guide where all the agencies and all the licensees and how to get those licenses. It's basically a guide to all the multiple agencies the city has that can help you gain licenses or improve your businesses in any way. I know last year we spoke about kind of making something like that, and making something like this that can help business owners kind of navigate the trenches of New York City departments. So
that's not on the list, right?
Yeah, that is on the list.
Which one?
That's the resource guide. That's the resource guide. That's number, if we're counting from up to down, that's number 4.
Oh, resource guide. Okay, sorry. Okay.
And then
and can you just provide some insight on 56? Like, what is a business solution centers?
So those are.
And please, like the rest of the committee, please cut me off. Like if I'm taking up too much time, or if you have any other questions.
Listen, this is what we're here for. This is what we're here for. Some clarity. Even me, I also need clarity. I'm a guy who likes to ask questions, so don't worry about it.
Right.
So those are incubators, business incubators that resource centers that provide lawyers or intellectual property guys, places, people where they can establish or structure businesses or even register businesses. Is a hub, is an incubator for. I wouldn't say incubator because there's no investors there, but rather businesses, resources for funding or registering or licensing your business. It would be a resource center. But yeah, that's what a resource center is. Now, keep in mind that I believe that the New York City does have that. It's included in the business solution centers. So this is why that was added, the increased funding for NYC business solution centers, because we have places like that. The city has places like that you can go and seek help for your business. But yes, that's what it is. Also, last thing, there's a rezoning of Inwood. It's a lot. I don't know the exact specifics. I'm gonna be honest about Inwood rezoning. I would have to get back to you. In fact, it says it right there, education campaign on what would Inwood rezoning look like. I myself don't know what that looks like, so I would benefit from that. But yes, that was part of our budget last year. So it would be a campaign for to kind of explain what's going on in the rezoning of Inwood. But yeah, so let's prioritize these. And we can do one. You know what? Let's do 1 through 7. And I want to hear everybody's explanation on what 1 through 7. Hey, Emily.
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. How's everything?
Everything's great.
Good. Welcome. So just quickly, Emily, what we're doing right now, I don't know if you received the email on the budgeting the budgeting committee has basically sent us to request what our list is going to be. So I sent those documents, and we have 7 items where we're going to choose what's our most important to our least important. We have 7 items on the budget, and we're going to basically make this request to our the general board. Do you have those documents?
Yeah, I received it from Chanel.
Cool, awesome, right, great. So what I'm
Mhm.
asking everybody to do right now is just rate their own those 7 items from 1 to 7. Then we're gonna have a discussion on which one should be number 1 on our list, number 2, 3, and so forth. Okay.
Okay.
Joel.
Yeah.
Quick random question. Marketing support for businesses. I think you went over that earlier. Can you just give like a 30-second overview of that one more time?
So marketing support, I said earlier that to what extent or in what way is kind of ambiguous. So marketing support could be anything to grants or departments putting more of a focus on marketing for businesses. But to what extent, I would have to follow up with you. To be honest, that's more it's a more holistic approach. But yeah, maybe we should be more specific in our list list. But yeah, we can go that way.
Got you. Totally got you, brother. Last, this is more so like a request. Is it possible we could focus on the first 3 first? Because to be honest, I think ranking all 7 at once might be difficult for me since I don't have that much clarity. And I'd love to like see where your head is at in the top 3 to like really gauge where I think my top 3 would be, if that's okay with you and the rest of the committee.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so for me, honestly, the number 1, 1, 2, and 3 for me, and this is no way to sway, but definitely an increased funding in NYC Business Solution Centers would be my number 1, and a resource guide would be my number 2. And in this committee specifically, we tend to focus a lot of an emerging market of cannabis. So that's why I would choose number 3 for that one as well. So providing further funding for cannabis education and small businesses. So those are my top 3 for me. So funding for solution centers, the resource guide, and the cannabis education for small businesses are my 1, 2, and 3.
We're looking at expense, right? Not capital.
Yeah, the expense.
Okay.
Joel, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just gonna say my top 3 are pretty much the same. But my first one is building a training hub to have like a separate one from the solution center. But I'm cool with either. I just feel like maybe it would be nice to have more than one. And then my number 2 would be funding resource guide. And then my 3 would be increased funds for the New York Business Solution Center. Because it might be easier actually to get funding for the Business Solution Center than to create a whole new thing, I guess.
Okay. Good. Okay.
What exactly is SBS?
Small business services, I believe. Where are you looking at that?
Second last.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 3rd one.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a small. It's the small business services. So, yeah, that's a department in NYC, I believe. I would. Yeah.
Joel, if you don't mind, may I give
Mhm.
my three and the rationales?
Yeah.
I would say the first one will be increasing funding to the NYC Business Solutions. My second one will be funding for the business committee virtual and physical virtual and physical resource guide. And then my third one will be the building a business training hubs. And the rationale for that is particularly the first one, I was able to partake in a lot of the cannabis like calls and conferences. And I know that there's a lot of overlap with that. So we'll be able to knock two birds out with one stone with increasing the funds to the NYC Business Solutions without having to rank two separate spots. That's why I ranked it as first. And that will help people who already have a business. And then my second choice, funding for business committee. Like that one and my third one, building a business training hubs. Those two will assist people who already have businesses and who are starting businesses. And I think those have the most overlap with everything else on the list.
Just-
I'm
So
sorry.
I see that the building a business training capacity hub is a strong one for number one so far, because both of us so far that have spoken, that's definitely on our top. Jermina, Carl, what do you guys say about this? The business training capacity hubs for our number one on this budget.
I personally have for my number one is building a business training. I think specifically speaking about small businesses in the community, I think they need a lot of support. And I think that would align with the inward rezoning in a way, some sense, because these bigger business are running out our smaller business. So how can we train our smaller business to be stronger, to compete, to provide that personnel to better equip them and to compete in this ever-changing market. And that then leads me to number two, which would be, number one, and my first one, building a business training, kind of aligns with marketing support for businesses, because as time changes, and we get distracted with the bigger businesses, we may forget about our mom and pop shops. So helping these kind of businesses keep their doors opened through different kind of marketing. I know, like, for example, in the neighborhood, we don't really advertise our small business. We only see big corporations on TV, on radio. And I think it's usually smaller networks who promote smaller businesses. I'll say that.
Okay.
And I don't know, pretty much when it comes to my number two, I think marketing support for businesses sort of aligns with building a business training. I think they kind of go together. And then my three would be funding for business committee virtual and physical resource guide for new and existing businesses. Because the businesses need the support as well, whether they're new or old. And like I said, they are smaller businesses that I think about have to compete against these businesses that are coming into the neighborhood, like, Target, KFC, Popeyes. We're forgetting like our smaller like restaurants, dinner places compared to like bigger companies coming. That's what I will say. Yeah.
Okay, so you say your number one was also building businesses training capacity? Because that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. So, all right. Now, Carl, do you see, and this is again for the expense budget. Carl, do you see that, our 7 items?
Well, the thing is, I'm not able to. I don't see where the items are. I have a whole bunch of. I have like a whole bunch of papers in front of me with tables and charts. I'm just trying to figure out which particular one we are considering. But from what I can gather of the conversation, I seem to think the options would be things like marketing support, business training, and then to fund some of these existing businesses. Until I'm able to look at the list more comprehensively, but those would be my my sense of what ought to be done. If I make myself clear.
You said marketing would be your first one, and then the one we're discussing for potentially number 1 would be the building business training capacity hubs.
Right.
That would be number 1 for us so far, as what I see.
I think I support that too. That seems to be the logical place to begin.
Okay, great. All right, great. Emily, what do you think about putting number 1 as our capacity?
Are we only doing top 3 or numbering them in our
Yeah,
order?
you could do your top 3. We could do top 3. Emily, please.
Okay. So I think something similar. So my number 1 would be building a business training capacity hub. I'm still kind of curious as to why number 2 was Spanish speaking health inspectors, in case there's something I don't know from last year when y'all created this.
So this was those are rankings on the right-hand side weren't last year's. I thought they were, but no, they weren't.
Oh, they're not.
No, they're not.
Okay. I know you already mentioned this. Why was since this isn't last year, like why marketing was number 1? Like just in case there's something that I don't know as to like why there was so much funding or request for funding to be number 1 for marketing.
No, so those aren't last year's numbers.
I know, but I'm imagining that the order's still similar, or no, completely different. Just
no, I think it's complete. I think this is just listed.
Okay, my bad.
No,
All right, so building a business training capacitation hubs, that's my number 1. Number 2, virtual organizational chart of role and responsibilities for city agencies.
Okay.
Number 3, marketing support for businesses. Then I would follow Spanish speaking health inspectors.
Okay, so I have you. Okay, all right. Yes, that virtual. Okay, marketing, and then okay, great. Okay, good. So leave for a strong second. It's either our virtual organization for a chart and our resource guide. Most of you guys chose those 2 as your third or second one. So what we can do is for number 1, we're doing business training centers, capacity hubs. I think that's clear across the board. For number 2, narrowed it down to 3. It's virtual organizational charts, funding for business committee and virtual resource guide, and marketing support. Maybe we can list those in order of 2, 3, and 4. So between those 3, funding the resource guide and virtual organizational chart came up the most on your second or third. So what do you guys think about those three? So I'm talking about specifically marketing, funding for the resource guide, and a organizational chart. So what do you guys think that order should be in 2, 3, and 4? We can start at the top. I think we started with Hector. Now we're trying to do number 2, 3, and 4. So we have the top three, and when it comes to the second place, we're gonna list them in 2, 3, and 4, just so we have 3 more items on the list.
I was gonna, sorry, before Hector speaks, I just wanted to mention, ask, when it comes to a virtual and physical resource guide for new and existing businesses, isn't there a guide that already exists for businesses? Like, does this need to be created from scratch? Because when I think about funding, I want to know exactly how much we would invest into a guide. And I feel like that's something that could be created within like a New York City internship for young, for students or something like that.
There is a guide, and I'll provide that. There's a website that you can kind of type in, and I'll share this resource with you guys. You can type in, what type of business you do, and it shows you, the licenses you need, the different departments that there is, and NYC to help you kind of create this business. I think here what you're asking, what we're asking for is more of a physical guide, which would be probably very extensive depending on, the business. But I think it would be more something that we can hand out, and to what we exactly need. I don't, that is, for the people who, make these guides, or who would make these guides. That's something separate on its own that would be discussed with the people if we get approved for this thing, this item on the budget, then a specific agency would be in charge of creating this resource guide, and then we could talk about internships and things like that. But first, we would have to get that approved, and then we determine how it's going to be done, and then what agency is going to do it and how. So how exactly, we don't know. We would have to first get approved through the budget, but those type of ideas could definitely be shared to the agency responsible of making that resource guide. But for now, I would say it would be a physical, something that's tangible, not something online, because an online guide is existent. But it would be a physical guide on guiding businesses on what to do for XYZ issue.
Joel, quick question. What was our number one choice?
So we have resource guide, virtual organizational chart, and marketing.
As our first choice?
No, as our first choice, we have right now, as it stands, a business training capacity hub. That's our number one.
Okay, this is our number one. And then what's the tie for the other three?
We have physical virtual resource guide, inward rezoning, and marketing. And so just for reference, guys, marketing was on our budget last year. So we would be asking, for more marketing in our in this year's budget. So, so any other questions on those top three? So I think that for me, just to what I would do for number 2 would definitely be marketing. Just because we had it last year on our board, and it was something that the board agreed with, that we needed more marketing towards our small businesses in Washington Heights. It will get us some more marketing towards us. So Yeah. My number 2 would be marketing. My number 3 would be that virtual organizational chart, and then number 4 would be the resource guide. So I got 2, 3, and 4 there. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about marketing?
How I ranked it, I just switched the first 2 from you, I guess, Joel. So I have funding, the resource guide, and then marketing, and then the virtual organizational care. But I'm flexible because I see what you're saying with marketing, and I think it also could be a tool, a more useful tool in some ways, or something that could be like put in to the business hub, like training how to market as well. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome. That's good. Yeah. Jermina, what do you think about marketing there? Being number 2 as opposed to the virtual guide, right? Amancita?
Either or, yeah.
I think I can go with marketing as 2.
Okay. All right. Hector, Carl, and Emily. What do you guys see for number 2? Marketing seems to be the front runner here. What do you think, Hector and Carl? Again, marketing is going to be passed, right? Let's say if it is, to the extent of how, it would definitely be dependent on what agency, if we get approved, what agency they hand down that budget item to, and they will be responsible on how. So marketing in which way is hard to say, but yeah. So what do you think, Hector, Carl, about marketing?
I'm cool with putting it as number 2, considering it's all inclusive of all business types and not just like, let's say, restaurant businesses for like the Spanish speaking or just cannabis, and whatever marketing entails. Going back to I'm sorry if I chop your name up, Jumirna. Yeah, just echoing what she was saying.
Okay, cool. I think we lost Emily.
Carl?
Carl? Yeah.
Good. Marketing, good.
Good. All right, great. We have our number 2 there, marketing. Let's go on number 3. We're almost there. 3, we're going to go. I think we have the resource guide and a virtual organizational chart. To be honest, guys, I think the resource guide, a physical one, it's good for our businesses, but we can also pass on. I'm gonna send that and forward it to you guys, this resource. But I think a virtual organizational chart is something that we can definitely make use of. What do you guys think? A virtual organizational chart for the responsibility for NYC agencies. What do you guys think? Good? Mancita says yes. What do you think about Jermina? It's not that number 3.
Say it again.
The organizational chart as number 3.
I don't think I want to do the organizational chart as 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about the resource guide for number 3?
Yes, that works for me.
Okay, I'm flexible for that.
It works for me as well, Joel.
Yep. Say it again.
Yeah, it works for me as well, Joel.
Okay, Mancita, what do you guys think? And Carl? Emily, we're back.
Works for me.
Go ahead.
No, yeah. Go ahead, Mancita. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, for me, the resource guide, in there, like when we first did the first round, that was my like original number 2.
Okay.
But the more we talk, the resource guide and the virtual organization chart, can't they be combined?
Combined, right? Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing there, Mancita. I think the resource guide And I'm gonna look to see with the chair we can rewrite this and put it onto one thing.
Yeah, because they complement each other.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
But I'll go with the board or our committee. But that's how I feel. If we could combine the two, I think
Combine them.
Yeah.
We'll do. All right. So we're gonna go with the resource guide as number 3. Okay. Anybody opposed to that? No.
Joel, I do not oppose, but I have a conflict at 8 p.m. Do you know what time this meeting will end so I can rejoin?
Yeah. Well, no. We should be done in the next maybe half an hour.
Okay.
What I would do is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna forward you the list that we have, and anybody the list that we come together as a committee to forward it to the general board. And if we all say yes, or the majority says yes, then we can forward it. But feel free. I'm gonna send it to you, and then you can give me okay, or you could join if we're still on after you finish. So
okay,
cool.
Sounds great, Joel. Thank you.
All right.
But it was a pleasure speaking to everyone. Take care.
All right. Thanks. All right. So we have 1, 2, and 3 there. So maybe for the 4th one, what we can do is also put the chart there on the 4th. So we have, sorry, let me just do here 1. Just bear with me here.
Let's say, so wait, the last person who spoke, who said, I'm so sorry, I'm really bad with names, and I have like 7 screens up looking at this thing. The person who said to combine the funding for business committee, virtual and physical, and the virtual organizational chart, how would that be reworded if that were to be combined?
Okay.
Something like funding for resource guide and like
includes virtual, includes virtual organizations. Yeah, so it would be something like, yeah, you're right, Manzita. What you could do is basically virtual physical resource guide, including new and existing businesses, and a virtual organizational chart for responsibilities of agencies. Yeah, I think we could definitely do it. And do you think it could be reworded, Emily?
So when I did this in the housing and human services, what the members were recommending was like to do an Excel, and then they made me check the other document that was attached with these documents, the expense and capital, the other one that was like the register. And in that document, it tells you like whether or not they budgeted for it in that year, or whether they were working on it, or whether they like needed to look into something. And that would let you know if you need to like reword it or take it out or add something new. So, like you can make a change, and then that would be a new number. So it's like you would be removing one, rewording the other, and then you would just have one less from these 7.
Okay.
And that's what you would like hand in, I'm assuming. This is how I did it. So let's say one of these was not budgeted for, and that's what it said in that other document, the one that was like register or something. And in that document, you look for it based on the board numbering. So you know how there's code. Like right, I didn't even know that. So I was looking for all the things, and then each one, it either said it wasn't budgeted for, or they were working on it, or something like that. Or they tell you like it's not part of budgeting, it's the city council or something like that. So then we would remove it if that was the case, if it was like not budgeted for. Or we would reword it to see if they would consider it this year for budgeting. So yeah.
I'm looking for it right now, see if it, so the ones, what I do know is that the ones with the tracking code, the one that was accounted for, and it got put in on our budget. The ones with the tracking code right now on on our list. I wasn't too sure that the other ones had a tracking code because it was never put on our list.
You mean the new ones or the ones without anything?
Yeah, the ones without anything.
I'm not sure like what that means. I was going by the board numbering. You know how on the right side, the far right side of the document of the it would say board and committee numbering.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so that's how you would find it in the document, because it would go by number, starting with I think it's like first capital, the first few pages, and then expenses in the end. And then when you look for it, let's say you look for let's look for, which one is this one? The one that we're gonna change. I'm trying to follow the line without, oh crap, I clicked on something. Building a business training, blah, blah, blah. So that's number 47 in the document. Let me see. I would have to leave this on my phone. Number 47. And this is expense, so.
You see that?
Hold on, these words are so small, I can't.
I'm trying to see what you're looking at too. So we're on one page, and sorry guys.
Okay, so then so you know how you sent us 3 documents, right?
Yeah.
The expense, the capital, and the other one, the register one.
Mm-hmm.
So in that one, it starts out with capital on page, what page is this? It's page 1. So after all these contacts, after all the contacts is when the page numbering starts. And then,
right.
Yeah, and then there's the priority number. That's the board number, I think. Let me see.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I don't think so, because I went to, let's say, starting right off the top, we have right off the top, we have on the budget side, we have 46, and I go to 46, and on 46 there is it's completely something new.
Oh wait, this is capital, my bad. Okay, so the first, it's because the first few pages is capital, and then after it's expense. So you can't, the numbering for expense starts on what page? Okay, so the numbering for expenses starts on page 23.
23.
Yeah, so starting from there, the priority number is 1 for expense. So you go all the way down to 40, whatever. You were looking at 46.
And this document you're talking about, it says at the very top, it says Mahan 12, right? That's the document. All right.
Yeah, it's like the big one.
Yeah.
And this one, it says marketing support for businesses. That's 46, right? And then, oh crap, I did something with my finger. Hold on, it's because I'm on my phone. Okay, and then on the far right,
Oh, I
is-
see this. Yeah, I
you
see this.
it says further study by the agency if this request is needed. Therefore, OMB does not take any position.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if like you need to reword it for them to consider it more or what, but like why that happened, I'm not sure if it has to do with like statistical things that are going on. If we need to like add more verbiage to what we wrote there so that it could be more specific for them to like not have to write something like we need to look more into this. Um,
Okay.
so
So
I'm
let's.
not sure.
So, what specifically? Now that's a good point. How specifically will we mark it? I guess that's the question that they're asking. Further study by the agency of this request is needed. Okay.
Right.
Let's see what you're saying.
So it's like marketing. If you say it's marketing for like in general, that could be any business from franchises to like small businesses. Maybe if you're like specific on who and like how,
Mhm.
but maybe that's too specific because you know there has to be like a good medium, so it's not like too much and it's not like too little, not too vague.
Okay. So how specifically could we market our the businesses of Watch Tonight? So give me 1 second.
Mhm. Marketing support.
I'm just thinking out loud and looking at
Mhm.
my phone, but maybe to make it more specific, you could say specifically for like CB12 residents who have businesses at a certain size, like a size cap or something.
Okay, size. Okay. Yes, I see that. I see how that can narrow it down.
They might not be able to have the same access to capital as like a fried chicken or a Kentucky Fried Chicken or a Popeyes, a small mom and pops, you know. So they would need help with marketing.
So maybe we can I'm just doing some quick research here because this is a good point. Maybe what we can do is kind of allocate some places in Washington Heights that advertise specific businesses within Washington Heights. So give me 1 second, and I'm just looking at the specific offers. Sorry.
Yeah, because the request, like you know how on the list it has like a more abbreviated version of what is wanted,
Mm-hmm.
like the 7 lines, but then here it's a little bit more specific in this document because it says request is support local CBO's efforts to provide or expand district marketing, branding, and promotion. The explanation is marketing support for businesses and responsible agency, Department of Small Businesses Services, which is SBS. For the person who asked. So like here, you know, I'm not sure if we have a say in like how to write this whole thing, or because I'm new to this too. Like I'm just covering like interim chair for housing, so I'm learning myself. But I'm not sure if due to this response saying like further study by the agency is needed, maybe it's because it's maybe too broad and we want to like
Exactly. I
add
agree with that.
something.
I agree with that, Emily. And that's what I think. I think it's not that it's it's that I think it's too broad. Which is why the OMB didn't like consider it, right? So so maybe what I'm looking at here is that maybe we can target some like advertising. Maybe we can add advertising for small businesses throughout Washington Heights, right? So maybe that is more specific to a NYC agencies that do marketing, or and there's maybe some of the businesses that we have in Washington Heights can use those resources in those departments to put their names out. So maybe we can reward it in a way where use advertise local businesses in local in New York City mediums. Maybe we can do something like that, where it's all about advertising and using those resources in those departments to put their names out. I don't know if I'm making sense, but yeah, maybe we could do that. Maybe we can rewrite that. I'm gonna check with the chair if I can go ahead and reword this. But maybe we can reword this, still leave it at number 2, and then I'll email you guys the rewording and see if you guys are okay with that. How's that sound?
Yeah, works for me.
Cool. All right. Great. So so we got 3 and 4, which is great. Now we have 1, 2. So I'm just taking notes as we. Okay. Now, I will say that number 5, just because we have a heavy focus on this committee on cannabis and cannabis education, I would put it at number 5. And what do you guys think?
That
And do you
works for
think
me.
that works for you? Okay. Jermina, Carl, and Emily.
Okay.
Yeah, that works for me too, Emily.
Okay. Now, Carl, Jermina, do you guys agree that number 5 should be cannabis?
Yep. Said yep.
Okay. All right. Jermina?
I will say the Spanish-speaking health inspectors.
Okay. Now, just because we, just because Mancita, Carl, and Emily, all agree, number 5 should be cannabis. Maybe we can do number 6 as the health inspections. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Is there really a big lack in Spanish speaking inspectors? I thought that there was just a lack of inspectors in general
That's
for
my
like
question.
everything.
Say it again.
That's my question too.
So repeat the question. I'm sorry.
So like just to see or to clarify like the issue, how big it is, and why it was put here in the list to begin with, like how bad is the issue with having Spanish speaking inspectors or inspectors in general? Like
So
health
I'll tell
inspectors?
you this much. I think it's well, relatively speaking, because a lot of these businesses in our neighborhood is they outsource, and they have consultants that handle this. But just speaking on the licensing, it's a big issue when it comes to like just communicating with agencies. A lot of these business owners are Spanish speaking, so it creates an issue. But I think it's just a call to more diversity, just so there's not so many consultants and interpreters between the client and the agency in the city. So I guess is a call to specifically that department to kind of hire more Spanish speaking clients, but Spanish speaking inspectors. I can see it in the licensing how it affects them, because we do in the licensing committee, we do take advantage, take into consideration, their grading when approving liquor licenses. So it does affect their business. And it sometimes things get lost in translation when it comes to licensing. So I imagine that has a direct correlation when it comes to like health inspections. But yeah, I think it would just be a call to that.
Or does anyone know if there's a lot of like health inspection issues with the businesses up here, especially the ones owned by like of Spanish descent or Latino?
I think generally speaking, I mean, there is a few businesses that have a lower than A, but I don't think it's a huge issue. Like I said, they outsource a lot of the consulting. So, and to be honest, if you have a low grade on your health inspections, and you're let's say a bar or a restaurant, it's very hard for you to get a liquor license as well, because we take that into consideration. So, I don't think it's a major issue. But I think some businesses would definitely benefit from that. So, I mean, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt for us to include that in our budget. Hopefully, they listen to us and include that in the general board meeting. But I think it's a good consideration. I think we should. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I was just asking because here on this list it says number 2 from whenever it was written. For the committee, and if it really is a big issue, then I would put it higher up. But since I haven't really stumbled upon any news on this, that's why I was putting it lower down.
So that was not it. So those things, the committee numbers are not the ones what we listed as.
Right. I just didn't know like what was actually going on nowadays in regards to Spanish speaking health inspectors. So that's the only reason why I asked in general if anyone had heard anything.
What I can see, I don't think I think it could benefit it, but I don't think it's a huge issue. That's what I would say. Okay. Are we okay with that being number 6? Okay, good. All right, and the last one that we have here is an increased funding to NYC business solution centers. Okay, is that what we're going with for our last one, or do you want to let's switch that around?
Oh, I would, if that's the last one, I would switch that with the Spanish-speaking health inspectors for my personal choice.
Okay. Just because we added the capacity, the hub in our first one. Just because we added that in our first one, we're kind of creating our own in a sense. So allocating more funds to it, creating something specifically for this neighborhood, and actually build a business capacity hub. And that's our number one priority. We kind of are pivoting to something more localized than these business solution centers that is probably citywide. I wouldn't put it higher just because I think we're just we're taking that and not using that, but rather building our own. What do you guys think, Emily, Carl?
Wait, what are you saying? You're saying to put which number? Like what?
So what we're saying is increase business solution centers. The funding for NYC business solution centers
would be before inspections.
That would be our last one.
Oh, okay. Would be after the inspection, the inspectors, the Spanish speaking inspectors.
Yeah. Yeah, I personally don't like it being the last one because I chose it for my second one. But yeah, but as a board, you guys think we should move it up or leave it as the last one?
Well, for me personally, sorry, it's just that I know it's gonna escape my mind. I'm so sorry, y'all. So for business solution centers, I personally have never been to one.
Me neither.
Yeah, so I don't know, Mansita, if you know, like, or anyone else, if they're lacking in funding for some resources that that are really needed for businesses, or
Oh
I mean,
no,
anyone could use funding, but
I've
like,
never. They probably have funding. I've never actually been to one myself either. Um, because I guess what Joel's saying makes sense to me. Um, I think the
Mhm.
reason why I would have it ahead of the Spanish interpreters is that because they have a built-in infrastructure, it might be easier to get funding for it. But I appreciate and support actually building our own.
Okay.
And so and I think it's what you were saying, Joel, as well. Like it just feels weird having it last, but it's cool.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So as the list stands, we have the capacity hubs, number one, number two, marketing. It's going to be rewritten. And then we have the resource guides and the chart, which we will try to combine. I will speak to the chair. Number five, we have cannabis education. Number six, we have the Spanish speaking health inspectors. And number seven, an increase to the funding of business solution centers. All right, so I'm going to call this to a vote, this order. Let me know yes or no. I'm going to start with Mansita.
I vote yes.
Great,
Yeah.
great, great. Jermina
Same, I vote yes.
and Carl
Yes.
and Emily.
yes.
All right, so unanimous. I vote yes as well. So unanimous. We will forward this and with some amendments that we will try to reword marketing and try to combine resource guide and charts. So I will have those rewordings to you guys via email. Okay, so give me 1 second here. Okay. Also, while I'm doing this, I know it's kind of late, but I want to so everybody knows each other. So and I know Hector left. I want Emily and Carl just to introduce you guys. Tell me a little bit about you guys and how many years you have here on board. So Carl, you could go first, or Emily, either or. Just
Actually,
so
I already
Amina-
did that. I already did that.
Go, yeah, Carl, you did. Sorry. Emily, sorry.
Oh, okay. Hi everyone. Let me see. I'm on my phone and I have separate. Hi everyone. My name is Emily Marte. I've lived in Washington Heights for 30 years. I live on 158 on the west side. And I've been on the board since fall of the last year as like a substitute. So I'm still very new to learning all of the protocols and like rules and Robert's laws and stuff. But it's definitely something great to learn. And I'm learning a whole lot more about the city that I was just never aware of. And right now I'm interim chair of housing and human services for the time being. Hi, all.
All right. Right. Thank you so much, Emily. Next on our agenda item, and I'm just saving all of this. Okay. So we have and correct, and maybe Emily, you could share some light on this that you kind of did this over there on the other side on the. I think you said it was housing. Now the expense, is it something different from the capital budget, or is
Yeah, yeah, it's a whole nother vote.
is a whole nother one, right? I figured. So
Yeah.
we only have 4 on that one, and I don't know if everybody can see that. I will share it with you guys. Give me 1 second here. So I saw both, and okay, so that was our expense, and we already determined the positions for that one. Now for the business development committee, we have 4 capital budget items. So does everybody see that or no? It's a toggle at the very top if you have the Excel sheet. It goes from expense to capital. Does everybody see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, good. Carl, do you see that? Emily, see that?
I'm looking at Park's huge list. I wonder how they voted on it. I'm just
Yeah,
reflecting.
they had last year. They had a huge list too.
It was like all night voting.
Yeah.
Perhaps you can just read them out. Is that okay?
Yeah. I'll read them out for you guys. So,
Thanks.
Maybe if you want to list them down, Carl. So I have the first one on our list is the infrastructure and business subsidiaries to support the optimization of outdoor dining. That's a hot topic.
Do you want to reflect it on the screen?
That's a good one.
Oh, because you're on your phone, right? So it probably looks different.
Yeah. Let me see if I can do that. I am also on my phone, so let's see if I can do that.
I could do it, Joel.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Jermina, for that. Appreciate that. Let's put that right on the board. Okay. Maybe we can. Were you able to do that there? I don't know if we just assigned you as a co-host. Let me see if we can.
Now she should be able to.
Yeah. So now, is she able to do that as a co-host?
Yes, she should.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Awesome. Great. So the first one there, it's infrastructure, business subsidiaries, or subsidize. Infrastructure business subsidize to support the optimization of outdoor dining. That's number one. That's like I said, it's a hot topic, and I can explain that to you guys. Funding. Number 2 is funding for a new facility for the Washington Heights Corner project. Weatherproofing for outdoor dining, safety, streets initiatives, and positive investment. Expand NYC small business support centers beyond single location. So guys, let me get a 1 through 4. All right, and take 45 seconds, a minute, to kind of get your rankings on those 4, and then we can discuss that.
What's the corner project? I'm so sorry.
Okay, so I'll explain 2 of them. Sorry, I was supposed to explain. Yeah. So one So the corner project is a project where it's a safety injection. It's a overdose prevention center in Washington Heights, located.
Right. I didn't know that's what it was called. Okay.
It's on 178th Street in Amsterdam, I believe. I believe it was recently, I don't know if it shut down or temporarily closed. So just a couple things on that. I think there's 3 or 4 around the city, something like that. Yeah, it's just a way for people who are addicted can safely inject without overdosing, or rather, if they do overdose, there's a way that it could be safely done. So
and they closed it down, you said?
I from the last time I heard, they temporarily closed it. Yes. I would have to do my research. I don't know if they opened it up. I know it was temporarily closed for a time. Another thing I want to explain is the infrastructure and business subsidies to optimize outdoor dining. So there's a thing right now that's happening in outdoor seating. Right now, the emergency way to do this is out still. So the city during the pandemic came out with these rules to be able to allow outdoor dining because of COVID and things like that. And these are still in effect right now, but there are coming changes to outdoor seating. It will be much different than what it is now. It won't be like ventilated and heating like they have now. Some of these things are really extravagant. So later on next year or this year, there's gonna be switching of regulations to how these things could be done and to what capacity they could be done. So we want to inform our businesses throughout Washington Heights, our restaurants, on how to do this, right? On what to remove, what they can keep, if they have to knock down the whole thing. These are what this is what is about when you are considering this specific thing. Okay, so any other questions for the other ones? Okay.
I think I could do my reading.
Okay, go ahead, Jameen.
I'll say for my first will be expand New York City small business support centers beyond single location.
Okay.
My second would be weatherproofing for outdoor dining, safer street initiative, and plaza investment.
Okay, good.
Third, funding for a new facility for the Washington Heights Corner project.
Okay.
And then infrastructure and business subsidies, to support the optimization of outdoor dining.
Okay. Okay. Okay, great. Let's see here. Amancita, what do you have there?
Okay, I have for my number 1, it's expand the SBC.
Okay.
My number 2 is the corner project. My number 3 is the weatherproof and safe street initiative. And my number 4 is the infrastructure / business support outdoor.
Okay. All right. So Emily, let me hear yours.
Oh my gosh. I was actually looking at that other document, the register one. What does it mean when OMB does not take any position on the
OMB, I believe, is the Office of Manhattan Borough, I believe. So they don't take any position, meaning they probably didn't even put it on or wasn't even considered. I don't know exactly what that means. It probably means that they didn't even consider the that budget item.
Because I see this for the corner project.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the one that's expand New York City small business support centers beyond single location,
Mm-hmm.
it says OMB supports the agency's position as follows. More information is needed from the community board before making a funding decision. The community board should contact the agency.
Okay, this is probably something that we should have done last year.
Yeah.
And it's probably a good thing that we'll probably put it on our budget again. Because the thing is that the community board has to respond to these agencies, or else I don't. It gets kind of like lost in limbo. But I think we should include it, and then whatever they respond, the board responds. I don't know what happened last year. Again, I was part of this committee, but not an assistant chair. But this year, if they respond and they need more information from us, we will do so. Whatever it is, if they need more info on whatever the case it is, but I'll follow up with them.
Okay.
That was for which one? That was
For the one that was 27 and 28 on
Okay.
the board decisions.
okay. Good.
And let me see, this one, the invest in infrastructure that will support growth in commercial business districts or infrastructure and business subsidies. That one, it says the request does not seem to be applicable to the responsible agency. OMB cannot make a determination at this time.
What agency did they do that on? Because I don't think I have that document. Oh, is that same document? Let me see.
Yeah,
All right.
so
give me
that's
one
for
second.
number 41. That's the infrastructure and business subsidies to support the optimization of outdoor dining. If they can't make a determination at this time, are we just gonna keep requesting it? Like, that's my only question that was about all of these budget
Yeah.
asks.
So I would for that one, because I can't find that one. We'll probably have to. Let me see. Small expense building.
It's towards
What page is that on?
is this capital? Okay, hold on. 10. So capital's in the beginning. So yeah, page
Yeah.
10. On 41.
Okay. Yeah, I do see that. I do see that. Okay. So maybe, and this is the responsible agency is the Economic Development Corporation. So maybe we can. And I do see that it's a little repetitive. Let me see. I just want to go back to this. Just the outdoor dining and weatherproofing. I think the reason why 41 was that because it's beyond them. I think it's the Department of Transportation and not the Economic Development that agency. I think it's because of the regulations that were coming out, because they can't do anything when it's above their power to to create like infrastructure or regulations for outdoor dining, which is why I think they responded that way. What I would reword this, this one, this 41 specifically, the infrastructure one, kind of educating or providing education to new outdoor dining regulations. So that's what I would do. Instead of like, providing infrastructure. I don't think that is, I think it's beyond their power. So, with the permission of the committee, I would like to reword this one. What do you guys think? Educating our businesses of the new outdoor seating regulations. What do you guys think?
What was the previous wording meant to do? Because I didn't quite, when
Yeah.
it says like subsidies.
To support, meaning to support could be it could be very broad. Financially support, like, you know, the actual infrastructure, or like provide some intel on how. So yeah, so I don't, the wording was pretty broad on that, but we can focus it on more educating the the businesses on the new regulations. Yeah, I don't know what was the previous.
It just says growth in commercial business districts. That's support growth in commercial business districts for that
Yeah.
one, where it says the request.
I see that. What we could do is we can, like I said, rewrite this to educate them. If that's okay with you guys, if we could rewrite that, it would be great. Is that okay with you? You guys?
That's okay with me. I was wondering, is there a way to like put anything about educating in terms of cannabis, or did we already do that with the?
Yeah, that's our on our expense budget, so that's good. All right, so we will I'll take notes on that. Give me 1 second.
Because when I hear infrastructure, I thought that it was like something physical.
Yeah, so infrastructure is I think they're talking about specifically the outdoor dining setup that they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So like physically get them the materials to
Yeah,
make it happen?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why it would be on their scope.
Would it be still considered capital if we change it to education? That's my only thing, because people were talking about the differences between capital and expense in my last meeting, and I was so confused, but I just don't want it to be not considered just because it's like it doesn't qualify as capital if we change it to education. That's what I'm saying.
That is a good question. I know capital expenditures are for long-term value of you know, I would have to see if that would qualify. It could be. I would have to just see what the chair says, but let me see something.
Because the way that I understood it, like in caveman terms, because I'm not really a person of finance, it's like capital is like new assets, like new things, new stuff. That's what and then like expenses for maintenance of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like long-term maintenance and like operational and other stuff. So if education is like sounds like an ongoing thing to them, then they probably will say like this is not like within OMB, whatever, like, you know, it'll just be something that's pushed off.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. I do see what you're saying there, because I think that capital expense is basically like long-term value, meaning you're investing in something new, right? And then and expenses are what? Yeah, exactly. Yes. So I don't know if education, and I think it would be because this is something new. That these regulations are new, like what they're about to do and come out with. Seating arrangements are something completely that's never been seen before. Just besides this, this emergency stuff. So maybe it could be considered as capital, just because it's emerging. But I think so. I think that we can still put it as capital.
Okay.
What do you guys think? I think so. I think we can leave it here, to be honest. So we will rewrite this as education. If that everybody's okay with that. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, Joe,
Yeah.
how much longer are we going with this?
So we should be done in 15 minutes. We're wrapping things up.
Carl could vote first if he wants to like put the order.
Yeah. So right now we have I have the order for Germina and Mansita. Carl, what is your order?
Order in what sense? Like what
The
are,
order.
oh,
Give me-
that. The
Yeah,
four
yeah.
things. The four things.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So very quickly, I would say the infrastructure goes first for me. Then
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Carl. Keep in mind that we're going to be rewording this.
I know, but I mean, however you reward it, I suppose it's the same content, the same substance.
Okay, and it would be more on education of that, and not the actual funding of these structures. So it's a little bit different, but continue.
Oh well, look, I stay with that anyway. Then expand NYC's expand NYC small business support centers
Okay.
beyond a single location. Perhaps it should make it number one for me.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this thing with weatherproofing for outdoor dining, safer street initiatives, and plaza investment.
Okay.
And then this, however you reward this, however I reward it, I probably should place it third for me. All right.
All right. Okay.
And then finally the corner thing. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
All right. All right. So I will send you. We're gonna vote on this. If you have to go, I understand. We're gonna. I'm just gonna get the order on the other ones, and then I'm gonna make a list, and if everybody agrees on that list, and then we can pass it on to the board. So, seeing that, I do see that everybody is on board with expanding the NYC Small Business Support Centers as number one. Okay, I'm just writing this down. Okay. Number two, and this was also number one on my list, to expand NYC business support. I know, Marcy, that you had the corner project as your number two, but I have some other people that want the weatherproofing and outdoor dining initiatives as number two. What do you guys think? Should that one or the corner project be number two?
I support, especially with the now that you guys are we're gonna reward it. I support pushing the corner project down.
Okay. So, so we have the plaza investment right now as number two. Is that okay with everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Emily?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So. Okay. So the corner project, I have it as number three. Is that all right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. And lastly, the rewritten version of the education of the outdoor dining.
Correct.
All right. All right. Okay, so business support centers number one, the investments, the weatherproofing of outdoor dining and street initiatives of plaza investment. As number two, and number three, I have the corner project, and number four, the infrastructure. Number four, the rewritten education portion of outdoor dining. Let's go to a straight vote here. On All in favor say yes. Masita, yes or no?
Yes.
All right. Emily, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, great. Jermina, yes or no?
Yes.
And Carl, yes or no?
Yeah.
All right, great. I say yes. I'm going to rewrite that education portion of outdoor seating, send it to you guys. I'm going to move over the capital budget over to the general board. So, okay. All right, so we're going to move the agenda forward here. Any old business? I know really quickly, this will be further talked about in our next meeting on the cannabis report. We the summer, this past summer, and well, in June and July, the first licenses, temporary licenses for vendors came out, and the right now the licenses, the temporary licenses for cultivators came out. So 2 licenses have started to come out. These are temporary licenses, not like full-on licenses. This is kind of like a trial error for the Office of Cannabis Control. So just want to let you guys know to pass it on. I think the application for people who want to cultivate is still out there, the temporary licenses. Check out the Office of Cannabis Control or the Office of Cannabis, I think it's called. Check it out. Francisco knows more about it. We'll expand on it next meeting. So yeah, that's what we spoke about, I believe, last meeting. So agenda number 4, it's new businesses. Any new business, anything new that you guys want to talk to about the board? Anything new? No? Okay, great. Just for me, I'm going to partnering with the Office of Nightlife to come and speak here and in licensing. They have great programs that can help our local businesses. And there's a great resource, kind of like a touch all. It's the Office of Nightlife. I just wanted to let you guys know about that. It's gonna be more detailed next meeting, but I'll share that with you guys now. All right, any announcements? Any announcements?
I don't really have an announcement, but I just wanted to pretty much ask on behalf of myself if there's a way that the board could pretty much enhance its processes to move people over from committee to committee. Like, what does that process looks like what leads to that?
So that those decisions are handled by the chair and the different committee chairs. So if you can, we can talk about this like out of the meeting. If you want to, I'll connect you with the chair and we can tell you more about what that process looks like.
Okay. Now, I'm not saying that I want to leave the committee. I'm just saying, how does the board do it?
Oh, okay. I really don't
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah, I
pretty
get it.
random.
Trust, I was in 3 committees at one point, and I didn't know if I got switched. So I know it can be, especially now that we're in Zoom, it could be kind of like the message could get lost. But yeah, it's tough. It's more the chairs of the committees that make that decision. But we definitely need to do a better job of communicating that, because even me, I didn't know. So yeah,
Thank you. Well,
I'll pass that info on to the chair.
thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right. It is 8:58. Thank you so much for sticking around. But motion to end the meeting. Anybody seconds it?
Second it.
All right. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. You guys been great. Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Everybody.
Night.
Ciao, ciao.